That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Predator Badlands. It's the fourth film directed by Dan Trachtenberg, which Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures is releasing November 7th, 2025.
This director has done other Predator films.
This is his fourth film, third Predator film. Previously, he did the animated film Predator, Killer of Killers and Prey. His first feature was 10 Cloverfield Lane, if you remember that, which I also remember liking well enough. Notably, this is the sixth live-action Predator film, the seventh overall, and I believe the ninth in the franchise.
What is Predator Badlands about? A young predator outcast from his clan finds an unlikely ally on his journey in search of the ultimate adversary. What is your pull quote?
Trachtenberg continues to breathe fresh air into a once stagnated franchise with Predator Badlands, an enjoyable new chapter reminding us that nobody can make it out here alone, even if they're a race of hunter warriors banished by their own clan of vicious killers.
Mine. A satisfying, high-octane shot of adrenaline that breathes new life into the Predator franchise.
Did you like that Maya Angelou Poetic Justice?
Yes. I really liked this movie.
I did as well. I feel warmer towards it the more we've talked about it afterwards.
It looks great. I understand several VFX studios worked on the visuals, and they did a great job. The sound editing. I didn't realize I was watching a Fanning until the credits rolled.
You mean Elle Fanning.
But she plays two characters. She plays synths, so synthetic humans, Thia and Tessa. One's good, one's bad. I thought she did a fabulous job.
That works for Weyland-Yutani, so we'll have more alien crossovers.
But I think with the last couple of Predator films, we've seen a flip in these creatures because now they're more of the protagonist than the antagonist. So in this one, the main character is I think that the predators are called Yautjas.
Yes.
And this one that we're focusing on, his name is Dek.
As in when, are you playing with a full one?
And I thought the actor portraying this character did a really good job.
Dimitrius Schuster-Koloamatangi, who's from New Zealand, and I believe this is his second feature.
I found myself really caring about what happened to not only this predator, but the synth he's traveling with. But the story's pretty simple. We see that Dek is part of this clan, and they value hunting, and they despise weakness. So we find out that Dek's dad had already told Dek's brother, you need to kill your brother Dek.
Kwei
is told, kill your brother Dek because he's weak. But Kwei loves his brother and doesn't want to kill him. So the dad shows up and says, fine, then I'll do it. But Kwei rescues his brother to allow him to go to another planet that I think is called Jenna to hunt the ultimate adversary called a Kalisk.
Well, apparently every Yautja is able to choose their own first kill. And he chooses this planet because it's called the Death Planet, and this is the hardest monster to kill.
And of course the dad laughs at him like, you could never kill that thing. But Kwei rescues his brother, throws him on a ship. The dad kills Kwei. And then we have Dek on this planet. He doesn't really know what's going on, but luckily he comes in contact with a synth, Thia, played by Elle Fanning. But she's missing her legs. So she's just strapped in like a tree. Not antagonizing him, but like, hey, you're in danger, and if you don't help me help you, we're both in trouble.
She's very much like Bishop at the end of Aliens.
Yes.
When he's torn in half.
Dek ultimately allows her to help him by basically qualifying her as a tool. His pride initially won't let him just accept that she can assist him. And through their journey, they pick up this other little creature that I thought looked a little crazy.
Yes.
But the three of them make it pretty far. They get to where the Kalisk is. And that's when the tables turn. Because Thea goes, Dek, I'm telling you this because I care. You need to get out of here. Because I work for Weyland-Yutani. So there's an alien tie-in.
For their weapons division.
And she says that we're here because we want to capture the Kalisk. So I already notified the team that we found the Kalisk. And if you're here when they arrive, they're going to capture you too. And they do. And this is when we meet Tessa, the other synth, played by Elle Fanning.
Who's already been castigated by Mother for having a failed mission.
But it's so interesting because Thia qualifies herself as a sensitive synth.
And Tessa supposedly is too.
She's even saying, like, I can't wait to be reunited with Tessa. I feel like we're sisters. We were programmed to be sensitive so that we could better relate to the species on this planet.
I.e. better manipulate them.
But really, it means to manipulate. But Thia's a sweet, sensitive synth. So when we meet Tessa, we realize, oh, she's in trouble.
Yep.
So the story goes on. It's somewhat predictable.
Yes.
But I'm just going to start going through my notes. When we meet Dek's father, that man, that predator is cold-blooded.
Oh, for sure.
But it's very clear that their clan values the sport of hunting.
Yeah, and as we come to learn about this race of creatures, right, they're the ultimate hunter.
But it's interesting because the dad is saying we have to get rid of the weakest one, and Dek is the weakest. But then I thought, well, if they get rid of him, now someone else will be the weakest. So it seems like a cycle you can't really...
But is it just because he's a runt and short of stature?
Which is what the dad says, that you're a runt. That being said, one weakness to this story, because this is the first time, I think I've seen all the Predator installments except the animated film. And I think this is the first time we've seen them be so like rational and intelligent, talking as much as they do. We also get a lot of Dek without his mask on, and I thought it looked really cool.
I did too. I could not help but think of Kevin Hart though, as he's running around this short little man trying to prove himself.
But I will say that for the Yautja to be so intelligent, it's a little strange that he can't rationalize how his behavior is not helping him or has destroyed his family.
I felt like this could have been called Predator Chosen Family or Predator Outcast, because I think that this specific clan of Yautja's, Dek and his father, it seems that maybe that's a specific dysfunction to their clan, is that he can't get over having a short, runt-like son.
I do like that, because I feel like if we continue to get more installments, it'll be interesting to see how maybe different clans behave. So that was a component I liked. I also really like the world building of the planet Jenna, because we see that there are a lot of different species. They have exploding caterpillars. They have these like paralytic pine cones. They have razor grass.
Yes.
So when the Kalisk and Dek are captured by Tessa, the other synth, by Weyland-Yutani, and they're going to be taken to the Weyland-Yutani compound on Jenna, Thia helps Dek escape, but he doesn't have any of his weapons. So we get a little montage where Dek is collecting some of the organic things on the planet to help fight the final battle. But the gag is, that little creature they met
They call Bud.
they're calling Bud, and
They gender her.
Oh, her.
But they call her Bud.
This little creature I thought was a little too cartoonish. It felt like it could have been like something out of Lilo and Stitch. We find out that that little thing is the child of the Kalisk. Why does Weyland-Yutani want the Kalisk? It's like the ultimate predator because it can regenerate. So we see its limbs get cut off. We see it get decapitated, and it's able to just kind of pull itself back together.
And as itself, it's kind of like I'd call it like a griffin type creature from Greek mythology, or is it maybe I'm thinking of a chimera, where it's an assembly of all kinds of other parts, because it looks like a bunch of animals jumbled together.
I thought it mainly looked like a porcupine, but anyway, that little creature, that's its mom. And we get a hint of something strange, because when that Kalisk gets a chance to kill Dek, it starts sniffing Dek and then kind of like backs off. So foreshadowing that Kalisk knew that Dek had contact with its child.
Because the child spit on Dek.
That's another thing, is that these creatures spit on each other to show that you're part of the clan. So that's right. The Callus could smell that its child spit on Dek, so it didn't want to hurt it.
Yet somehow Thea did not know that this was the offspring.
I thought that was a little weak.
Uh-huh.
But ultimately, because also at a point, sort of midway, Dek leaves Bud, saying that Bud is just a liability. And Thea's begging him, like, you know, without Bud, we would have been killed. But he doesn't care. But ultimately, he realizes through a story Thea told about wolves, because she's trying to explain to him that you can still be an apex predator and care about the clan. So she says on Earth, there are wolves, and they hunt in packs, and the lead one is called the Alpha. And Dek says, oh, the Alpha must kill the most. And she goes, no, actually, the Alpha's the Alpha because it protects the pack. So then, again, you realize in the end that that's what Dek realizes is important. But the final showdown is he and Bud make it back to Weyland-Yutani's compound, rescue Thea, get her legs back, which I thought was funny because when we meet Thea, her legs have been ripped off. Then when we find her legs, she's in one of those med beds that put her back together. And it's a really involved process that takes so long that it doesn't complete and she gets her legs ripped off again. But then in the end, when Dek brings the legs, they just immediately attach to her.
Yep, just kind of hop right back on them.
I thought that was weird.
Yeah, there's some cutting of corners for sure.
And then the sad part is that they are able to rescue the Callus, but the Callus had eaten Tessa.
There's a face-off with Tessa in a power loader, much like Sigourney Weaver in Aliens.
Which I thought looked cool.
It looked cool. It doesn't have that same energy at all.
No, it doesn't. But the Callus ends up eating Tessa. So we think all's well that ends well. But then Tessa, like, implodes herself. So she kills the Callus.
Well, with this device that's how they caught the Callus in the first place, was with this freezing. They basically have to freeze it and then put it in a box.
Bud's mom is killed. And then I did think it was funny when we see Tessa after she is like regurgitated from the Callus. She's now bald and really pasty, which reminded me of Emma Stone in Begonia.
Yeah, Alien.
But Dek ends up killing Tessa. And he uses Tessa's head as proof that he killed the ultimate adversary. So at this point, now it's just him, Thea, and Bud. So now they're a clan. And Thea says, oh, so now we can move on. And he goes, no, I need to go get my cloak. So that's the whole thing of their clan's tradition, is that once you bring back your trophy, you get the invisibility cloak. So Dek goes back to see his dad, and his dad's like, you still ain't shit.
You're trash, die, 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 die.
But Dek kills his dad and gets his invisibility
and
cloak.
His dad uses his invisibility cloak on him. That hardly seems fair.
That doesn't seem fair, but
he uses a little trick with some wind and sand. And
so it was nice because we see the three now, and also Bud has gotten bigger. So we see Bud, Thea, and Dek are now a clan.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy-ish.
It did feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, because there's also quite a bit of humor in this film.
Yeah, sometimes maybe a little too cutesy at times.
I agree. I do feel like at moments I felt like I was watching like a Saturday morning cartoon. But the final shot of the film is this huge craft approaches Dek and his clan. And Thea's like, who is that? Some of your friends? And he goes, no, that's my mom.
Like, ooh, what's this bitch like?
Like, oh my goodness. It's also important to know Thea uses like some universal vocalizer. So she's able to communicate in English, and all the other creatures can understand her.
Which is fine. There's still kind of a requirement to read a lot of subtitles.
Yeah,
which
I
liked.
that.
I mean, I really like Trachtenberg's last live action, Prey, as well, which is a Predator film I'd watch again. But I have to say, like, yeah, these ones that he's directed, I would be willing to rewatch these, much like the original two that I'm a fan of. Yeah.
Just a few notes. I've never seen the Predator's toes, but in this one we do. And as you can imagine, they are gnarly.
Yeah, we got to stomp around. We got some Johnny Appleseed feet walking around there.
Another plot point that to me felt a little cartoonish is, so some of the weapons that Dek collects when he goes back to Weyland-Yutani to try to rescue everyone. There was a scene where the crew is walking through like a river, and all these eels are attacking them. And we see that they spit acid, but Thia's like, oh, all they want is food. Like, if you give them food, they'll be friendly. So Dek, like, bonds with one that sort of shoots. It's like this little thing that was giving me some
Brain
kind of
brain damage.
But it's this little eel, which was
Head and
super
loader.
cute, and it's spitting acid at everyone. But that felt a little too convenient. That this creature, you gave it a few nuts and berries, and now it knows who all your enemies are and is shooting at them.
I mean, that's how we make friends sometimes, right?
But it was still super cute.
It was, again, it's like cutesy, which I think you have to be on that cutesy vibe for it. And I wasn't there all the way at all those moments.
I was surprised to learn this film is PG-13 because it's pretty graphic.
It is, but there's not a lot of bloodletting, and these
There
are
isn't.
fantastical creatures we're seeing die. I think it's funny also that you haven't seen this yet, but it's also I highly recommend seeing this film. But the press screening for this was the same night as the last press screening of Sentimental Value, also starring Elle Fanning.
Oh,
So you have both these posters with Elle Fanning next to each other. Wildly different.
good for her. What would you give Predator Badlands?
3.
I really enjoyed it. I would give it 3.5 out of 5. Join us on Patreon and listen to our podcast. Bye.